Good evening, Americans and fellow patriots. I am James Detroit, and I probably should have written down some notes, but just got home. It is just after 8 o'clock. Wow, been a long day. Um, Good things, though. Good things come from those who work hard. The couple of things that I did catch, though, let's go through some numbers. Of the top 100 counties in the United States, with coronavirus cases, 97 of them have a mask mandate. Think about that. Now, in the state of Michigan, we have this mask up and mask right executive suggestion. That's what I would call it. The challenge is for me. I know that the state police get their marching orders from the governor. I've been very complimentary, and I know a number of state police officers, and all of them that I know are wonderful, hardworking to protect and serve human beings. I appreciate them. And I hope that all of them will remember their oath to preserve, to protect the Constitution of the United States of America, that place that above all other things, not just whether or not they're going to have a job or get reprimanded. If they're asked to do something that is unconstitutional, I hope that they have the strength and the courage to honor their oath. And it's not an easy spot. It's not an easy spot. They are being placed in a very challenging and difficult position. I do appreciate all of the sheriffs in this state that have said they were not going to enforce an executive order that is suggested that it's law, because it's not been promulgated into law. And so I appreciate all of those sheriffs. So miraculously, you start to see it in other states, and now here in Michigan. We're going to open up the economy again. We're going to open up the service industries. Of course, it's going to come with this suggestion of control, because it's always been about control. It's never been about our health. You know, some of the other numbers that I see, the rise of bacterial infections, both sinus infections and pneumonia. I'm not a doctor, but it might be because of masks, restricting our breathing. It's possible that COVID has cured cancer. We do see an increased decline in cancer deaths. So I guess you got to look on the bright side of everything. I am an optimist, so look on the bright side that COVID-19 has cured cancer. Cancer deaths continue to be on the decline. When we look at the law of large numbers and really see how we've been duped, and so let's transition into that. Soon as I get enough hits, enough views, I become canceled. As soon as I become significant, as soon as I become relative enough, and they're going to come for everybody, because it's not law and order. It's not about making things right, because things have been much more right than they've been wrong this entire time. Our Constitution is the greatest written governance that on the planet. There's nothing else like it. This right here. Keep one with you. We got one in the car now too. We're handing some out on Friday. Some more. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate it. Thank you, Ben, for commenting on one of the earlier videos. Yeah, where's the water cooler talk? It's not by mistake that they've taken away the places to gather, to be able to say, hey, wait a minute, things just don't add up. They're taking away these platforms to be able to share content. And my fear is, I heard a great, fantastic explanation as to when you take 75 plus million 75 million plus that voted for President Trump, when you take them and continue to tell them that they do not have a grievance, you cannot voice, you cannot ask for a legal body to look at this and evaluate. You cannot. I don't care how many affidavits have been signed. When you tell us it does not matter in these 7 states that you have dueling electors, you are not going to be heard. When you tell us it does not matter that we went around, that the Democrats that run these states have gone around the United States Constitution to pass laws to circumvent the state legislation, the state legislators. That's who's supposed to set the standards by which the elections are carried out. When you tell us that none of that matters, and I hear on mainstream media that all 60 of President Trump's cases have been lost in court. They've not been lost, they've never been heard. None of this information, none of this evidence, one of the greatest crimes ever committed, none of this evidence has been allowed to be heard. And the reason why, in my opinion, and I feel like 2020 has allowed me to see perfectly, because our elections have never been what we believe them to be. And it's not till a period of time, 100 plus years. What was it? 110, 115 years after the election of 1876. I did a research paper on it at the prompting of my then University of Michigan Flint campus, Dr. Bruce Rubenstein. He happened to be the Republican Party in the state of Michigan chairperson. I thought he was a fantastic college professor. But he suggested my research paper ought to be on the 1876 election. It was at the time the most contested by far election we've ever experienced in this country. Not even close to what happened in 2000. Not even close to what happened in 1960. If you take a look at the numbers in 1960, you'd really start to understand what I'm talking about. And understanding how city centers and large groups of people can really manipulate a vote. So I've talked about it here. We've joked around about it for years. In Chicago, if you're a Democrat, you vote early and often. Same thing in Philadelphia, same thing in Detroit, same thing in New York. Only now, because you don't have to actually show up and do a ballot, we're just filling them out for you. You can think I'm crazy, but we've got thousands of people that signed affidavits. Who just mails in a ballot, and how do they get it mailed in without folding it or never even putting a fingerprint on it? And who or why would somebody just vote for one candidate? Don't they care about anything else? This isn't just a few places. This is hundreds of thousands. It's possible it's in the millions. Now, because of this content, there will be that little message on the bottom of this that says all irregularities and any questions have all been settled, and that's the ways and why the vote becomes certified. That's not true. Again, I'll remind you, check out Dr. Linda Lee Tarver. No, she's not a medical doctor. She is a doctor nonetheless. She has her doctorate in something that matters, and I commend her for that. I'm not ragging on Dr. Jill Biden. I'm simply saying no one should rag on anybody that's gone through the steps to get their doctorate. Dr. Linda Lee Tarver was the star of the testimony in front of the Michigan legislation. You should check it out if you haven't already. The votes have never been certified in the state of Michigan, our largest city centers, for years, that have been run by Democrats. We need to really take a look at this. But the point of my whole story is that if the American citizenry really realized that our elections were not for 150 years, were not based on integrity, we can't deal with it. Most of us are not willing to admit when we were wrong. On this channel, I have admitted I'm wrong many times, and I will continue to, because why? I'm a human being. I've been wrong in a lot of this in listening to some of the information that's out there that was not correct. And what I want to encourage everybody to remember, we will follow the rule of law. We will protest peacefully. We will continue to follow and believe in our constitutional republic. The Constitution is still intact. This can still work for us. Now, they're coming for all of us, though. We've already seen that former President Obama, through the IRS, went after the Tea Party. I know that a lot, 75, 80 million plus Americans are going to be persecuted. They're already talking about having these, where they bring you into a group, and they're struggle sessions. And you have to admit that you've been wrong and you won't do it again. Now, in Mao's China, they used to do this with hundreds of people attacking one person, hitting them with bamboo sticks, breaking down a person. You know, the challenge here in America is we have 15 million registered hunters. We have more firearms registered and those long guns that do not have to be registered than we have people. And we are the peaceful resistance. We are the ones that showed up in Michigan with our long guns. It's a open carry state, and not a single incident of violence. We are the ones that showed up in Richmond, Virginia, to protest. Not a single act of violence. And the stories and the history goes on and on and on. We are law-abiding, rule of law, peaceful protesters. We are going to continue to be that, because there is a time to defend, and that's all we ever do. I want to encourage everybody that watches this video to stay strong, continue to pray. Remember, Jesus has never let us down. The Bible has never let us down, never once. Our Father in heaven, the Holy Spirit, is all we really need. It is challenging, though, because we are a social group, and we want to continue to be listening to somebody else, get some advice from somebody else. I'm seeking the truth. I've told you that forever. From a historical perspective, I'm trying to connect the dots, and I'm seeking the truth. I hope you are too. Stay strong. For now, I'm James Detroit, and I'm out.